Hello, this is Tim Campbell at TBC Action Coach of Indiana with our Business Spotlight series. The purpose is to interview local business owners and promote them through our social channels and email database, as well as provide them coaching. This is a free service I'm doing because when every business is strong, the economy is strong. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Mike. Welcome, Mike. It's great to have you on the program today.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's start with tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, my name is Mike Harding. As you said, I am a husband first. I'm a father, second, third, and fourth. You guessed it, I've got three boys as kids. And I'm a small business owner. One of my career-long goals is to kind of demystify IT and how it works in businesses, and the small business sector has long been an underserved market. And so Selective Intelligence, my company, focuses on small businesses, what the industry would call very small businesses. With the developments that have happened in the past 5 years, there's no reason that these small businesses can't take advantage of big business technology and big business access. That's where I was trained. And so I've made the conscious decision to focus on small businesses and bring back big technology to small business.
Fantastic. So let's shift to a commercial. If you were to have a 30-second commercial for your business, what would it be?
Yeah, my 30-second commercial is just that. Selective Intelligence focuses on small businesses, bringing big technology to small business. The primary focus, however, for me is relationship building. I don't like to have customers. I like to have friends. And I like to serve those customers in a way that focuses on providing IT solutions to business, not IT solutions for IT's sake.
Fantastic. So, Mike, how long have you been in the industry, and how long have you owned your own business?
Whew, that's a big question there. I started in the industry in the early 1990s. Yes, that's last decade. I can't believe it. When I started in the industry, the first computers that I worked on, I actually walked into the computer. Computers were entire floors of entire buildings. And the technology that you hold on your phone now is, I don't want to say infinitely more powerful, but much more user-friendly and really focused on the user instead of the computers. Which is what we used to do in some accounting processes. I have grown through the development. I've been in the industry and grown through the development, the personal computer revolution. I was a player. I was in the industry before Microsoft was a player in the industry. I was first certified in other technologies before Microsoft even grew to be the size that they are now. Through that development, I've watched technology develop and change the way that end users actually use that technology. I formed Selective Intelligence in 2015 with the idea that, again, the big technology, the enterprise level technology that I had learned and grown up in, small businesses are deserving of that technology. And I'm focusing on the relationships again more or as much as the technology and providing solutions, and Selective Intelligence was my solution to that.
Fantastic. So you were around before Microsoft, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Microsoft, of course, they had product, but they weren't a real player in the market.
Yeah.
They made some strategic business decisions that pushed them to the fore, and their primary competitor at the time, which is who I was certified with, kind of faded to the background.
So you mentioned that small business is your target, but who's your best customer? We call that within that target, your ideal target market.
Yeah, my ideal customer is, as the term that I used before, is the very small business. My sweet spot is companies that have less than 20 users, less than 20 devices, again, smaller than what my competitors, who really aren't my competitors, but what my competitors generally focus on is trying to get bigger than that. I focus on the smaller businesses, but I need a business owner, or at least business leaders in the organization, who realize that technology is now a necessity. Unfortunately, security is now a necessity. And I've got some really cool solutions that I provide to those smaller businesses that many of them are not even aware is there. So that's where my target customer is.
Fantastic. So, Mike, what's been the greatest impact that COVID has had on your business?
Oh, uh, uh, COVID and the regulatory and our reaction to COVID has been devastating to the sector that I focus on. I have watched my friends' businesses go out of business, get significantly impacted from a revenue generating standpoint, and it has just been heartbreaking to watch these. 3 of my top 10 customers in the past year have gone out of business.
Oh.
At least another half of those top 10 have significantly cut staffing, the people that really run the organization, and by extension, they have therefore cut IT. So yes, my business has been impacted too. But the true emotional impact of this, the technological impact, the business impact, we're small businesses, we're going to adapt to it. But the true emotional impact is watching these people who have sunk their lives into their business, watching these businesses fade, and in some cases totally go away, has been heartbreaking.
Yeah. So, Mike, you've mentioned it a couple times, but you keep using the word friends instead of customers. So, tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Again, my business training, I keep saying I grew up in it. I grew up in enterprise level business. I worked in the top 3 of the top healthcare organizations, healthcare systems in the country. The absolute top was one of them, in the for-profit sector. And so I understand business relationships, and they are vital to what's going on. But what really gets me, going, what gets me energized, are personal relationships. And so small business owners who are out struggling just like I am to do the tasks of the business, can really benefit from the experience that I have. And so making a relationship with a business owner is so much more important to me than the technological drive and the business drive behind it. I've been doing this for a while, and that's where I've settled, and that's where I focus, and that's where I thrive.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. So you mentioned the impact of COVID. What are 1 or 2 things that you've done to make a difference during this time to pivot your business, and how are those things been working for you?
Yeah. My business, again, like so many, has been significantly impacted from a technological standpoint. We have had to develop, my customers and I, my friends and I have had to develop new ways of doing business. In my business, I've had to change how I build relationships. I've had to change how I cultivate relationships. For 6, 9 months, I was not allowed to get out and get into businesses personally and stop and talk to these people to develop relationships. And so the digital means to get to them has been what we've had to focus on. And so we've had to respond with technological solutions to this. We've had to beef up home networks. We've had to improve the technology in home networks, improve the technology and our access through the internet. And all the while, we're now securing different things. I'm focused more on securing data in motion rather than securing data as it's stored, which is where we've traditionally focused on securing data. And so my business has had to adapt. I've had to create relationships with vendor providers, vendor friends of mine, to improve things like online backups, cloud backups, to improve my company's service toward cloud-based technology, and then help migrate all of that stuff. I've done a ton of Wi-Fi, so home networking has totally changed, as has business technology. So that's the adaptation, is just a slightly different focus from the technology standpoint, and a completely new way of building business relationships.
Fantastic. So, Mike, here's an interesting question for you. It's been said that smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So, what mistakes have you made along the way that you'd be willing to share with us that other entrepreneurs can learn from your experience?
Yeah, my biggest mistake stares at me in the mirror every morning, every time I get in front of a mirror, and I mean that sincerely. Um, I uh, I became comfortable through 2019 and the beginning part and leading into 2020. I was very comfortable with the status quo. I was comfortable with the way I was doing business, and that was a huge mistake on my part. I fooled myself into saying, well, you've got to focus on the customers you have, and you got to focus on providing the solutions and being there and being responsive. Yeah, those are all the tasks of my business, and with the tasks of my business, I was good. I was a great employee. The problem is, I'm not an employee in my company. I'm not just an employee in my company. I am also a business owner. And what I did not do was make a plan for the success of my business. And here you go. You're a business coach. I am indirectly a business consultant, and so it's time for the leadership cliche, right? If you're not planning for success, you might as well plan on failing. I don't think failure is a foregone conclusion, so I won't say plan to fail, but I will say you might as well plan on failing. And in my business, it came really close. There were a couple of times where I seriously thought about closing the doors, just because it got so tough. So that the business lesson is, for me, don't forget you own a business. And so my focus now, planning moving into 2021 throughout this year, is get back to my business basics. Your business basics are different than mine, but I've got to get back to my business basics. I've got to focus on the foundation of uh, running the business, making sure that I'm getting into making the decisions to develop customer relationships, to get in front of customers, and to go out and do the right thing for my business, not just doing the tasks of it.
Fantastic. Mike, I appreciate your transparency and vulnerability. I know that doing that self-reflection sometimes can be hard, but I appreciate you sharing, because many other people are going to benefit from that. So, hey, second last question here. I've got your contact information that I'll make sure to include when we post this interview. But is there anything else that we should provide in terms of helping people learn a little bit more about you? Do you have any offers that you're running right now?
Yeah, actually, I am. Excuse me. What I would like to offer anybody watching this and anybody that comes in contact with my business is just use of my expertise. Sales terminology will say no cost, no obligation. Okay, that's great. It's not about developing my business necessarily. It's about creating relationships. So I would love to and offer to anybody a 60-minute conversation where we can talk about your business. I'm more than happy to do a review of how you are doing technology right now, and maybe gaps that I see. but really learning about what you're doing, and making you aware of some of the technology that is available to you. And of course, I'd like you to use my business to do it, but you don't have to, and that's not what this is about. It's about me. I want to help you as a small business see what's available to you, and therefore use my skills, and let's share a cup of coffee or whatever and get to know each other.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for that generous offer, Mike. Appreciate it. Last question here. Tell me, what's been most inspiring to you during all of the craziness of the past year?
Oh, I love this question. I'm glad you do that, because I view myself, I'm glad you asked that question, because I view myself as an optimist. I try to be an optimist. I get bogged down every now and then, but I try to be an optimist going through this. So two things have really been inspirational to me. Two things I've become aware of, made myself aware of during this time. One is the absolute resiliency of the small business owner. We've had to, in many cases, completely change the way we do business, and yet we're finding a way through. We're getting there. We are using technology now in a way that we haven't before, and so it is really inspiring to me to go around to businesses and to in my area, northern Indianapolis, for the most part. There's a palpable excitement about business now, small business now, that has not been around for about for as long as we've been experiencing this thing. So that's inspirational to me, to know that businesses are picking back up, we're gaining momentum, and moving forward. The other thing that's inspirational to me may not be quite as intuitive. I have come to the recognition that the younger generations, if I can categorize all of people into two categories, younger generations and older generations. The younger generation has been preparing for this new paradigm that we're existing in their entire lives. They know how to create, cultivate, build, and develop relationships through digital means. I'm a way old school guy. We shake hands. Oh, can't do that anymore. We go into businesses and introduce ourselves. Oh, we really can't do that too much anymore. And if you do, you're wearing a mask, and it's not as personal. But so now business is catching on to what has long frustrated us about the younger generation. We get frustrated. I used to really get frustrated when we'd sit at the dinner table and my kids are on their phones and back and forth, and Skype call comes up from whoever, friends, girlfriends, whatever, and quote unquote interrupts our life. Hold on a second. Now my perspective is changing. Is that's the way relationships are. That's one of the ways relationships are built and cultivated these days and developed. And so if I myself can just get out of the way of my own bias and embrace this, and realize that there are a lot of lessons that I can learn from the way that the younger generations have done this. I am inspired and really excited about where we can go from here.
Fantastic. Hey, Mike, thanks for sharing that. That concludes the interview. For those listening, if you heard something from Mike and you'd like to take advantage of his offer for that 1 hour session to learn how he may be able to help you with your IT needs, or just give you that free consultation to give you things to think about, please reach out to him. Again, I'll include his contact information in these video posts. If there's something that you heard just in general about business that maybe you're struggling with as well, be happy to jump on a call with you and talk you through that and determine if there's a way that I can help you. Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure learning about you and your business today. Wish you tremendous success going forward.
Thank you very much, Tim. I appreciate your time.
All right. Have a fantastic day.
You too, sir.